Ted has a question for you next. He says, in light of rate cuts and by extension continued inflation, should I put money in gold beyond 25% saving and my 6-month emergency fund? I fear inflation will only return again. So what do you have to say to Ted?
Man, Ted, I'll be honest with you. I don't love answering this question. And here's why. I feel bad. I feel, honestly, I feel mean because I have so many people who ask us, like, you can almost set your clock by it, that whenever we see volatility or whenever inflation is a concern, it always comes back to like, hey, should I buy gold? Should I buy gold? Should I buy precious metal? Should I do this? And the problem is, in my opinion, I'm going to say in our opinion, when you go buy gold, you buy a hunk of precious metal, you're buying this thing that's value changes without creating any specific economic value, right? Like the thing that makes gold more valuable is someone comes along after you buy yours and they then say, I want to pay more for that chunk of gold than you paid for it. It's not like the gold did anything. It didn't create any income. It didn't produce any product. It did not provide any service. It's simply what your peers around you assign the value to. For me, that's a harder thing to get super, super excited about when I think about I can go buy an S&P 500 index where I'm going to buy 500 different large companies in America that are creating products, adding services, changing the way that we live, creating dividends, creating interest. I just get I don't know that I get super, super excited about gold because of the way that the economics of gold works. But I'm going to give Ted an out because this is what he said. He said, after I do my 25%, after I'm saving, is it okay if I allocate some towards precious metals? And the thing what it says, once you get 25%, you get to choose what you do above and beyond.
Yeah, when I have people come to me, and Ted's thinking about this the right way, get your underlying base assets, that's saving and investing 25% of your gross income. But after that, if you sleep a little bit better and have a little more peace of mind because you bought some gold, I'm not going to pick on you about that. That's the same thing I tell all my crypto people out there is that if you want to jump on that, because it does feel like, and I'm going to probably get hate for this, but gold is it's considered this holder of value when you get into the world's coming to an end or craziness is out there, or you get into hyperinflation. Historically, that's been the case. But I will say it's kind of interesting now that crypto's on the scene. It seems like it's gold for young people because that's the same promises, but it's got the exact same limitations that Bo was talking about with gold is that it doesn't innovate or create anything upon itself. It's counting on the only way you make money is if somebody pays you more for it, and it has friction costs because typically with gold you have to pay somebody to keep it safe. Same thing with when I think about crypto is that you have to go through something that facilitates the transaction that has a little bit of drag or friction cost, and then you once again have to pay somebody, or I guess you don't have to pay somebody, but if you want to make it accessible to make the transactions easy. I just did my taxes. I did this whole experiment with crypto for about a year and a half. It was way too volatile to me. I lost a chunk of money on it, and so I just it's one of those things. If you're Ted, if you sleep better at night, I'm not going to pick on you for it, but I don't think that it does what everybody says it's going to do in the brochure necessarily, because I always think about if you get to the end of times or you get into these inflationary periods, how is it actually going to work? And typically, when I visualize that, it seems like it's not as great because you can't break off pieces. I guess inflation, it can be somewhat effective.
But even if I want to protect against inflation, don't you feel like there are much better ways to protect against inflation than hard
everybody
gold?
Always the stock market. I mean, because companies will raise their prices, and you will be the recipient of that higher revenue, the higher profit down the road once the inflation gets back under control.